At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve. It's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mo Kelly live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. Don't forget, we're giving away tickets to Disney on Ice tomorrow, but you have to watch the YouTube live stream for the Disney Clues to win the tickets for Disney on Ice. Hey, Sam the Sex Doctor.
Yes, sir.
If I said Fyre Festival to you, what would come to mind?
A lot of people disappointed with really bad food.
Okay. All right. Mark Ronner, if I said Fyre Festival to you, what would come to mind?
Dumpster fire.
Okay. Twella Sharpe, same question to you.
The biggest colossal failure of an event ever conceived, poorly executed, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
All negative, right?
All negative.
Anything associated with Fyre Festival is probably poorly received. I'm thinking.
Well, the organizer going to prison really isn't great for PR.
All of that. Okay, so you would think the brand Fyre Festival would be so toxic that no one would touch it. You would think, right?
Yep.
Wrong. It seems that Sean Rech, R-E-C-H, who co-founded the True Blue streaming service with former To Catch a Predator host Chris Hansen, they've acquired some of the IP of Fyre Festival, including 2 trademarks that will allow him to launch a music streaming service called Fyre. F-Y-R-E.
You're lying.
I wish I was. Quote, music networks are all just programming now, and I have no interest in watching people slip on bananas. It has nothing to do with music. I needed a big name that people would remember. Yes, it is. This is me editorializing. Yes, it is a big name. People do remember it, but what do they actually remember about it? And he goes on, he acknowledges, even if it's attached to infamy, so that's why I bought these trademarks to start the streaming network. This is Sean Rech. I just don't understand how some people don't end up broke making bad decisions like these. If I were, what was his name? Billy McFarland,
Yep.
the original creator of Fyre Festival. If I were to do another event, I wouldn't have called it Fyre Festival because it just leaves. The first one left a horrible taste in everyone's mouth. No one thought it was worth anything. And then you come back and you name it the exact same thing, trying to do the exact same thing, and you fail again. And then some unknown third party wants to use that name to launch a streaming service. Why would anyone in the world think that that's a good idea, worth your time, much less your money? Why would I trust that? And that's saying nothing of the streaming market being so crowded. I don't know how this could ever work. You could not sell me anything which is F-Y-R-E. Fyre Festival, Festival Fyre, Fyre Festival, individually, collectively, none of that. That brand is dead to me. If someone says, hey, we're going to start selling tires, we're going to name them Fyre. No. Someone says, hey, we got toilet paper. What should we call it? Fyre Festival. No. Nothing named Fyre Festival or Fyre, F-Y-R-E, is a good business investment. I wouldn't trust it. It doesn't matter if it's not connected to Billy McFarland himself. The brand is toxic. Everything connected to it has died, has failed, gone to prison, having to pay restitution. Why would you want to name your business that? Why would you want that association, that affirmative association? Yes, we want you to connect us to Fyre Festival. We want that. Even though the brand is toxic, we think it's good for us. Brand notoriety. What's wrong with people?
Well, I mean, look, this individual, Rech, he's not unfamiliar with launching brands that have some success with his True Blue network that has Takedown with Chris Hansen and Crime Stoppers and To Catch a Predator. So things like that, he is familiar with at least launching a network. So I'm not going to say that he does not have a working knowledge of how to launch a streaming service. I get this part. Getting into the music world, trying to do this, there have been actual music executives and actual artists who have tried to launch apps and streaming services. Jay-Z with his Tidal, the guys who tried to launch that other streaming network, I forgot what it was called.
It failed.
It failed miserably because everyone seems to forget how this actually works. There is so much cost into doing it. That is why iHeartRadio has mastered this. There's been decades and decades and all the information that goes into just running iHeart and running a platform like this, making it the juggernaut that it is no walk in the park. So to try to say that you're going to come out and go against every other streaming service that's out there and attach yourself to something that has no goodwill towards it whatsoever. It's not even associated with music.
No.
It's not associated with music. The only connection to music was Ja Rule, who was like, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't nothing to do with that at all.
How about this? If you decided to start a music streaming service, or you wanted to name a band, start a group, or a concert series, and you decided to name it Milli Vanilli, you deserve every bad thing which happens to you.
Yes.
This is that. This is exactly that.
Kick Milli Vanilli while they're down. I think they should hire George Santos as one of the VJs.
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, seriously, why not? Because if reputation doesn't matter, then why not?
I heard he had like a 3-year residency in Vegas too. So, I mean, he is an outstanding DJ.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, he has that on his resume.
Sure.
I think.
I mean, look, it's fine for a DJ, just not for a congressman.
And again, this is not going to go anywhere. I get that maybe this was to try to drum up interest within a news cycle sense, because Fyre Festival 2, McFarlane's still saying, I'm not done. I know we had to postpone things, but it's only a small hiccup. I'm going to come back bigger and better than ever before. I get it. I get why you want to come out and say, we're going to go on and do this now, but this is not going to go anywhere.
Nope, not at all. It's what is it they say, throwing good money after bad?
Yes.
It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And when we come back on the other side, Shannon Sharpe, who I've discussed on a number of occasions. He's a host on ESPN. He's also a very, very popular podcast host. His conversations have catapulted him to a $50 million deal. Just his podcast. He's in trouble again. We'll tell you about it in just a moment.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And on YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly. I'm a fan of the work of Shannon Sharpe, NFL Hall of Famer, podcaster, ESPN host. He's very popular these days because of his video podcast, Club Shay Shay. He has these long form sit down interviews, not unlike Joe Rogan. Just the content is very different than Joe Rogan. They're open ended. Start at the beginning of a person's life and go all the way to the end. He'll have celebrities, luminaries, whatever. He's not a great interviewer. He's not. But the content he generates, the answers he can get out of people, is very compelling. And for that, he has been heavily rewarded. I think he's looking at signing a $50 million deal just because of his podcast, saying nothing of his work with ESPN. But he seems to keep getting himself in trouble. What I mean by trouble is negative media scrutiny, and in this case, a lawsuit in which he has been accused of multiple counts of rape. Shannon Sharpe has been sued for sexual assault by a woman who says he raped her twice across a 2-month period last year in her Vegas home. The Jane Doe in her lawsuit filed on Sunday in Nevada State Court alleges assault and seeks at least, interestingly enough, $50 million. Sharpe, according to the documents, quote, violently sexually assaulted and anally raped plaintiff 2 different times in Las Vegas, Nevada, blatantly ignoring her requests for him to stop, close quote. And goes on, he did it again in January, close quote. Let me just skip to the end in this regard. I don't know what actually happened. If you're following the story closely, you know that Shannon Sharpe in the past 24 hours released a slew of text messages allegedly from the accuser. They are sexually suggestive. They give the idea that there was a consensual relationship, speaking nothing of what happened on these two particular occasions as alleged in the lawsuit. There was a consensual relationship at some point. That doesn't mean that the alleged rapes did not happen. Consent is up until she says no. We don't know exactly that. The lawyer who is representing this woman is Tony Busby, who is questionable. He was the lawyer who also had an accuser who recanted after accusing Jay-Z. So we don't know who is telling more of the truth here. But this is what I do know. Shannon Sharpe is too smart not to know better and too smart to play dumb. There are things that you just, he and I are around the same age. I think he's 56. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? And for what I understand, there is a sex tape connected to this case on one of the nights in question, which is going to be submitted as evidence. I don't know who is going to come out the victor in this, but this is what I do know. Shannon Sharpe had played a long career in the NFL, and Twala, you and I talked about this. Shannon Sharpe has demonstrated publicly on more than one occasion that he has a short fuse. He got into a altercation with the father of Ja Morant, NBA star, Memphis Grizzlies, on the court at Staples Center. In fact, I think they put out Ja Morant, and I don't know what happened to Shannon Sharpe, but it almost became a physical altercation. There have been other incidents in which Shannon Sharpe has exhibited a very, very short fuse. We can speculate. We can wonder whether he may be suffering from CTE after a long career in the NFL. We don't know. But there are enough public instances of questionable behavior by Shannon Sharpe to give a reasonable person pause. That's all I'm saying. And if you are repeatedly accused of either violent behavior or sexual misconduct, I don't care what your name is, I think the totality and the number of allegations do begin to matter after a certain point. They just do. They just do. I don't know if this woman had some sort of ulterior motive. I don't know if she was setting up Shannon Sharpe from the very beginning because he's wealthy and knows of his particular history and maybe saw an opportunity to make some money in form of a settlement. I don't know. And I'm not going to impugn her motivations. All I'm saying is this is getting to be a pattern with Shannon Sharpe. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know how it's going to turn out. But I do know after a certain point, you have to get serious about your persona and your public image. You can't keep having these types of issues. Oh, if you didn't know, Shannon Sharpe, I want to say a little less than a year ago, he accidentally live streamed having sex with a woman, supposedly.
How do you accidentally do that?
I'll let you know when I find out. Right.
Supposedly. Yeah.
You're working for a major corporation like Disney, they're not going to be too tolerant of this. And I don't know how much of it is true. I don't know if any of it is true. I'm not accusing the man of participating in any type of rape, forcible date rape, anything like that. I'm just saying after a certain point, there has been a clear lack of judgment, good judgment on the part of Shannon Sharpe with these sex tapes and these interactions with women. And after a certain point, they're going to start looking at Shannon Sharpe a little bit differently because he's the one who works for the Disney Corporation, not this woman. I don't know anything about her. I don't know her history, and I'm not trying to impugn her integrity. I'm not trying to blame the alleged victim. I know nothing about her. I do know that Shannon Sharpe has been known to make some questionable decisions. Now, let me ask Sam, the sex doctor, if you had a chance to look at the situation and did you glean anything from it?
I saw it, and you can't really glean too much until you get more details and information from it. But yeah, he does seem to have, I mean, especially after that phone call or the live streaming.
Right.
I felt like that was kind of like a Kardashian-esque thing to almost try to get more publicity, because he had after the Cat Williams interview, he had a lot of publicity going, and this was just another way to help amp up things. Mm-hmm. But then once you start getting allegations thrown at you like this, then,
plural. This is not the first.
Yeah. Bets are off, and you just got to wait and see how things come out. I always have bearish sentiment towards the people who are laying the allegations down, but I also have known people and have seen people who have been falsely accused of this kind of thing.
Right,
so I've seen how the knife cuts both ways on it.
I'm not going to rush to judge. I am going to say that even if Shannon Sharpe is 100% innocent, and I say not innocent because it's not a criminal trial as of yet, he does not come out unscathed. This has harmed his brand irrevocably.
For sure.
You got to stop doing the stuff that people would do in their 20s. You're like almost 60 years old, bro. Why are you dealing with sex tapes? I mean, come on. You got to, you got to know that is probably not going to be helpful for your career. I know whatever you do is what you do. Whatever you like is whatever you like. But there's certain, like for me, going back to the movies, I can't get in a fight with two women at a movie theater. I can't. Why? Because it's going to harm me professionally more than it harms them.
Also, it'd be really embarrassing if they kicked your ass.
That too.
Lord have mercy.
Talk about, insult to injury. Yeah.
You're like Bambi and Thumper in Diamonds Are Forever.
Well, they thought about it for a second when one started raising up. It crossed their mind. It crossed their mind. But I had a whole Southwest bowl with salmon ready to throw on them.
See, now I would watch a video of that before I watched a Shannon Sharpe sex tape.
But I'm being serious, because I was not going to get into a physical fight with two women. I'm just not. There's no winning that. Even if they started swinging on me, I'm not getting into a fight with women in a movie theater and expecting to keep my job.
No, and also you strike me as a hair puller.
Mark.
Ace Ahola. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and still live on YouTube. Remember, you got to be watching YouTube tomorrow, the live video stream, if you want to have a chance to win the Disney on Ice tickets. And Mark Runner's still laughing at me.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
The Bodyguard. 1992. Whitney Houston. Kevin Costner starred in it. Unfortunately, they don't listen to Later with Mo Kelly. Well, they don't believe me when I say don't remake classic movies or cult classics. They're remaking The Bodyguard. Why? I don't know, other than it's an easy cash grab. The question is, who's going to star in it? Published reports as recently as yesterday said it was going to be Taylor Swift. The reason, because the guy who directed the Taylor Swift era's movie is directing this version of The Bodyguard. So it's reasonable to assume that Taylor Swift, one of the biggest stars in the world, as was Whitney Houston back in 1992, Taylor Swift could do her own soundtrack like Whitney did in 1992. You would think Taylor Swift, that's a shoe-in. It seems that the proposed script for this updated Bodyguard movie, get this, Sam the Sex Doctor, they're planning to place Kim Kardashian as the lead.
Why? No. I mean, are they planning on taking music out of it, I guess?
It cannot be about a music artist. It would have to be just someone else. Yes, I get that there are actors who played singers. I mean, you can say Chadwick Boseman, who did James Brown. There are all sorts of examples of just actors who couldn't sing, who played legendary singers. But this is not that.
No.
Okay, no. But see, I have to.
Oh, please don't disagree.
I have to blaspheme this film for a minute.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I can actually see exactly why in this day and age, they would do Kim Kardashian, who is arguably
Literally
one of the biggest celebrity names in the world, not just in America. This is a film that they are thinking, in our day, yes, musicians and actors were the biggest thing. The idea of someone going after an actor wasn't as sexy as going after a singer, right? But nowadays, for today's audience, to go after a singer is like, to go after a social media superstar. If they make this about a film, almost a damn near real life story from how Kim Kardashian has had serious issues with security, today's generation of film goers, the kids that they're targeting, would love to see someone like a Kim Kardashian who they could say would need protection. Social media stars like that, they need it.
Yeah, but are we making a movie? Are we just putting stuff out there?
It's literally treading on the name The Bodyguard, because they could have a social media star, and the social media star is under attack from a troll who's going too far, and this troll that's going too far is starting to now send threatening messages and this, that, and the other, and this social media superstar needs a real bodyguard.
But she can't act.
No, and this is where I really can see why, because you may not have seen her turn in
Sorry to do the Tyler Perry movie.
No, not the Tyler Perry movie, and she's been in a couple other things, but in
the sex tape.
No, American Horror
I saw the
Story.
Sex tape.
And you
it was a
dirty
fantastic
dog.
performance.
You filthy animal.
But can she open a movie?
Yeah, yes.
Her butt can't open a movie. Yes.
Look, okay, this is grotesque. Okay, oink, oink. Oink, oink to all of you.
Just the facts, sir. Just the facts.
What I'm saying is, in American Horror Story, she did show that
American
she can
what?
act.
American what?
Horror. Horror
syllables.
story.
2 syllables.
Horror.
Oh, okay.
Horror story.
Well, it's important to be clear.
Yes, she showed that she actually can act. She can hold her own. She was on the screen with some actual
Let me guess,
talent.
she's a lawyer too.
Look, we know that she's a lawyer. We know that she's part of the reason why there's this big push to get the Menendez brothers out.
I'm sorry, I hate to seem so dismissive, but the whole idea of remaking The Bodyguard is ass. Okay,
it'll literally be ass with Kim Kardashian. What are you saying?
Yeah, IMAX ass.
Look. Okay. Jesus H. Christ. Look. Mark, damn it. Oh, God. Okay, look.
See, this is why it's a bad idea.
No. Okay, look. Here's what I'm saying, though.
Yes.
This film falls in line with remakes like Total Recall, which had nothing to do with going to Mars or anything
and it was
like
bad.
that. No, I get that, because we wanted him to go to Mars. But in the Total Recall remake, if they would have just called it, Memory Wipe or something, it probably would have been a fantastic film. This, for today's generation, no, we're 20, 30 years past The Bodyguard.
Let me give you some history, some trivia to why I really dislike this.
Okay.
Do you know who wrote the original Bodyguard?
No.
Lawrence Kasdan. As in Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
I think he's still with us. Yeah. What does he have to say about this? I wonder.
That, and also the original Bodyguard was not written for Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner.
Yes.
It was actually for Diana Ross and Steve McQueen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, that's some trivia for you. I say that to say there's a dynamic which has been set up from the very beginning. And yes, I know you want to update movies for the times in which we live, but the central premise should still be the same.
We're not going to go see it, Mo. You act
right about that.
You act like if they would have put Taylor Swift or anyone, no one that they would have put in this film would have been. It could have been SZA and Omar Epps. I don't care. It could have been anyone else, and we all would have said, hell no. Why? Because you're remaking a classic. But that did not stop them from doing Point Break. That did not stop them from doing Roadhouse. Yep. It didn't stop them from doing any of these trash-ass remakes that they make.
Thank you for making my point. Point Break. Trash. Roadhouse. Trash.
Because it had nothing to do with the Roadhouse.
Trash. I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you, but we act as if there isn't precedence for this film to be made.
There is.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that I'm not going to go kicking and screaming. Okay? I'm definitely not going to go back to the theater to see this because I don't want to fight two women.
I am definitely not buying this soundtrack.
Oh,
just saying.
There won't be one.
No, there is going to be a soundtrack. Look, it will be produced with the biggest stars on it. There will be all types of hip hop acts that we don't know. No, there's going to be a bunch of hip hop acts that, guess what? None of us know, because that's what they do with soundtracks nowadays. They don't even try to make it the same. It's going to have Little This and Baby That and someone else and someone who we get say, what is this? This is garbage.
And you know what's going to happen? It's going to fall tremendously short of what the original did. And we'll have this conversation again like we did with Roadhouse and what every other remake of a classic or cult classic. They should have just left it alone. Why don't we just say it right now? Leave it alone.
Maybe, but Kim Kardashian is a humongous star. It's like
no, her ass is a humongous star. Let's be clear.
And look, and if there is some type of scene, if they allude to there being something happening with her and whoever's guarding her body, people will be in the theaters. Why? Because not everyone saw the sex tape.
I don't know. I saw it. Okay, I have no problem with how she looks. I have a problem with how she acts. As in, as a performer.
You can't say that. You didn't watch American Horror Story. You didn't watch her performance in that. You don't know.
I don't need to see everything that a person does on tape to make a determination of their acting ability. I haven't seen everything that Denzel has done, but I know Denzel is a great actor.
There's a bunch of first timers who get it right when they hit big, when they get that right spot.
It doesn't have to be in The Bodyguard. I just fundamentally disagree with this. It's a shame.
I know. I'm sorry I had to be the
abomination.
I'm sorry I had to be the outlier.
They'll probably have Ray J as a,
No, he's a kid. He can't have anything to do with it.
Like a little cameo in there.
No.
He'll be the stalker. That'll be good. Yeah,
it's perfect. A troll going after a social media superstar? A troll that goes too far. I promise you, that's the log line.
Can we go to break now? I'm just depressed.
Okay, don't be depressed.
Kim Kardashian, please. KFI AM 640 and YouTube. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. And also, when we give away the tickets tomorrow for Disney on Ice, the show is Thursday. This Thursday, 2 nights from tonight. So understand, if you're trying to win, you're going to be going Thursday.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and on YouTube. Got to let you know, Wango Tango is coming up. iHeartRadio's Wango Tango, presented by Fiji Airways, is Saturday, May 10th at Huntington City Beach. That's just south of the pier. And they'll have live performances by Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, Meghan Trainor, David Guetta, Cat's Eye, N-Mix, Psychers, A2O Hearts to Hearts. I don't know if you can beat that lineup. Got to get your tickets now at AXS.com. That's access.com. Prices are going to go up on Friday, May 2nd. So you're running out of time before the prices go up. And here's something else. You are not going to be able to see this lineup anywhere else. You're going to want to see it now. You're on the beach. Think about that. I didn't say you're in the desert like Coachella or Stagecoach. You're on the beach. Imagine the sun going down. In the background, you have Gwen Stefani on the stage as the sun is setting. Does it get any better than that? Probably not. I know the people who went to Stagecoach is like, gosh, I wish we had a beach. I wish we had some water somewhere. No, it's not going to be that. Again, got Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, Meghan Trainor, all about that bass, David Guetta, Cat's Eye, N-Mix, Psychers, A2O and yes, Hearts to Hearts. But don't wait for me. You know where to get the tickets. You can get your tickets now at AXS.com, but the prices are going to go up Friday, May 2nd. And Wango Tango is on May 10th at Huntington City Beach. Do not wait. Get your tickets while you can. They are selling like gangbusters. KFI AM 640 and YouTube. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Stimulating talk for independent thought.
KFI
and KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere.